Good morning to all of you. So, in yesterday's class, we have talked on the different encoding process. Talked about the different NRZ, AMI, this type of pseudo ternary, this type of talks we have discussion we have done, and after that, I have given you people some bits transition into signal. I have given this particular task to you people, right? So, as I said, that I'm going to check who have done this and by just screen sharing the screen so that I can check that what you have done and what are the things, right? So I will check all the things and all for a random name, but later part of the class, first let us continue with some discussion and then we are going to check the things. Okay. One question or one thing that was asked in previous class, that is about Manchester encoding. And as I said that I am going to discuss about that particular part in today's class, that is Manchester encoding. This talking about this Manchester encoding, we have talked about the different things, that is the, if we go for some previous discussion, that is the line coding have different system of this unipolar, polar and bipolar. So in unipolar we have talked about this NRZ, and in bipolar we have talked about this AMI and pseudo ternary. And in polar system, this NRZ continuation have done, but with respect to that, one topic that is also there, that is called Manchester encoding. So the previously, whatever we have seen, whatever the bits transition or combination of bits we have seen, in each and every cases, what we have seen that the bits, if it is 0, then it is actually assigning or actually representing some lower value, or for some cases it is some higher value, and similar to that one, it is either for some higher value and for some lower value. So depending upon what type of coding process we are actually trying to use, that depending upon that, the 0 and 1 is depending. The 0 and 1 referencing to what, that is also depending. But in the part of this biphase or Manchester encoding of this biphase, the thing is that here it will use the 0 and 1 will be used for the transition of the bit. Not it will be representing any high bit or low bit. It will represent the transition of the bit. I will repeat again. Just understand that it will not represent any particular bit. That in the previous cases, 0 it is describing a particular bit, 1 it is referencing a particular bit, right? Means if I draw a particular thing, so suppose it is 0, suppose this is my particular line, right? And suppose from the starting of 0, if a particular part is 0, then I am trying to put it here. And if it is 1, then I'm trying to put that particular part here. If it is 0 again, then it is here. Means depending upon a particular bit saturation. So 0, 1, depending upon this particular bit saturation, I am trying to draw some particular things, right? So 0, 1, depending it's. But now in the part of Manchester encoding, while we are talking about this Manchester encoding, it is not actually depending upon in any bit. It is actually a representation or transitions of the bit. It is actually some transition of the bit is happening in Manchester encoding. So what is this 0 and 1 is representing in the transition of the bit? What this 0 and 1 is actually representing, right? So here in the part of 0 and 1 in the part of Manchester encoding, the 0 is actually depending from a higher bit or high level voltage to a low level voltage transition, and 1 is for a low level voltage to a high level voltage transition. So suppose if I write this particular thing, suppose this is for 0 and this is for 1. So this 0 is indicated particularly symbol by a particular transition signal, right? So what is 0 and 1? So suppose when we are finding a 0, means we have understand that transition will happening from a higher bit to a lower bit, from a higher bit to a lower bit. So in that particular case, the thing is that the transition diagram, we can say it will look like this. Means conversion of 0 to 1 from a higher bit. Conversion of 0 to 1 from a higher bit means from a higher bit to a lower bit. This is called a form of 0. So suppose it is my 0 and this is my this is my 1 and this is my 0. So transition from a higher bit to a lower bit is represented by this 0, and for the 1 it is just the reverse case, that from a lower bit to a higher bit. So here my lower bit is 0 and higher bit is 1, and transition it is happening from a lower bit to a higher bit. So this 0 and 1 is described or referred to this particular thing. 0 is referred by this particular thing, 1 is referred by this particular thing. Right. Now, this is the part of Manchester encoding where 0 and 1 is described by the transitions of the bit, not for a particular bit, it is transition for the particular bit. Right. So from high to low, it is 0, from low to high, it is 1. Right. Now, if we will try to draw a particular diagram or particular bit conversion with respect to Manchester encoding, then what will happen? So suppose we have a bits given something like this: 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. So something like this. This is the particular bit transition that is given. Right. Now we want to encode it with the help of this Manchester system. We want to encode it with the help of this Manchester system. So how the thing can be done? Suppose okay. So this is my baseline, and this is the part that is actually represented by the time. Now 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, we want to convert this with the help of this Manchester encoding. So first what I will do, I will just draw a particular point for each of these. Right. So suppose this is a particular point, means I am trying to draw a particular graphical bit that representing each of the bits, right? So each of the bit is represented by a particular part. Now, as I said that 0 is represented by this, 0 is represented by this particular part, and 1 is represented by this particular diagram. So when we are getting a 0, so I can understand that it is a conversion from a higher bit to a lower bit. So what we will do, we will just place this diagram 0, 0. While I am going for this, I will just place the diagram while I am finding the 0. So 0 I have found here. So I will just draw this for the case of 0, right? If in other case of this encoding system, when we are finding a 0, we are trying to draw a 0 fully like this, right? I am trying to draw a 0 fully like this. That is representing the whole bit. I again repeat that it is not representing a whole bit in the case of Manchester encoding. It is actually representing the transition of the signal, means from a higher voltage to a lower voltage. So when it is 0, it is actually indicating that there is a transition from a higher voltage to a lower voltage. When it is 1, it is a transition from a lower voltage to a higher voltage. So when we have found a 0, the transition diagram, I have drawn the transition for 0, I have drawn the transition for 1. So 0 is placed here. Next, that is 1. So when we are founding 1, we are going to draw that particular transition. Right? We have drawn this particular transition for 1. Next, we are founding a 0 again. So when we are founding a 0, then the transition diagram for 0 again drawn. Right? Now again a 0. So similarly, again the transition diagram for 0 will be drawn. Right? Then we have found a 1. So for 1, the transition diagram of 1 will be drawn. And at the end, we have got again a 1. So again, the transition diagram of 1 will be drawn. So the transition diagram, we have the value of 0 and 1. We know the transition diagram of 0 and 1. So just put the values in their respective path. 0, this, 1, this, 0, this. By this particular transition diagram, we have represented the signal of 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1 into the Manchester encoding transition diagram, into the Manchester encoding transition diagram. And obviously, this particular part means after when you have found 200, this is automatically it's connected. The thing is, it is connected. So just put the diagram or transition diagram respective position into that 0 and 1 when you're founding 0, when you're founding 1. Just place the transition diagram to the respective point, and then we can found the Manchester encoding part easily. This is the Manchester encoding where the 0 and 1 is represented for the transition. 0 is from a high to low voltage and 1 is for to low to high voltage, right? So this is for Manchester, and there is another part for that is the reverse of this Manchester encoding, that is known as the differential Manchester. Just the reverse of this Manchester encoding, differential Manchester. The process are same, but the only difference in Manchester and differential Manchester is the transition of 0 and 1, where in Manchester 0 is actually represented by the higher to lower voltage, but in differential Manchester, it is just the reverse. The 0 is actually or the transition of 0 diagram is this. And for Manchester, for 1, the transition diagram is this. The opposite of Manchester is called the differential Manchester. So in this case, the 0 is represented by 1 actually of Manchester, and 1 is represented by the 0 of differential of Manchester in the case of differential Manchester encoding. So if I try to draw a diagram again, then it is just the easy part of just the reverse. So when we have 0, we have just the value, the diagram will be converted, the opposite diagram for 0 of differential Manchester, that will be placed in this particular part here, right? It is be part in this. For 1, the part the same for 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. The thing, just the reverse of the Manchester encoding, right? So this is all the part of differential and Manchester differential encoding part, and the digital to digital data signal can be transferred with the help of several of this type of line encoding system. The 3 type of line encoding system, that is the unipolar, polar, biphase, bipolar, this type of things that can be included, and we can draw this diagram very easily. Now, the thing is, in yesterday's class, I have given the task. So first, I would like to know that how many of you have done this. So raise your hand so that I can understand that how many of you have done this particular diagram or bit conversion process. There are 33 students are present. So how many of you have done this? So I can see that 21 people have raised their hand. So they have done this, and rest of the participant, that is almost 12, they didn't do it. Fine. Okay, I will see what is the thing, what you have done. And those who are not actually doing this, as I said in yesterday's class, there is a mark of class performance, means what are the interaction, how are you interacting, what are your performance in the class, that is observed, and depending upon that, a mark will be given, that is in my hand. So I can see who are performing and who are doing, and these people are getting a good marks in the class performance, and those who are not, they will get a 0 directly. No confusion in that. Okay, so next topic, that we are going to talk about today. So these parts are complete. The module, this is the part of module 1 that we have almost completed in yesterday's. This part is left over and asked by a person. I don't remember the name, but yes, the thing is now covered. The part is totally done with the help of with the first module. Now coming to the next part. As I said that there is a new topic, new module we are going to start in today's class. The topic or the part that is the analog to digital conversation. We have done the digital to digital data conversation, right? Now there is another part or another signal conversion, that is analog to digital conversation. So this transmission, the data transmission is happening. The mode of the data, it can be any, the digital or the analog. Basically, when we are when we are actually using our microphones, is the audio or any for any picture, the camera, this type of things is used. The signal that is generated is the analog signal. Most of the cases, this is an analog signal. So an analog signal can be created or can be generated when the microphone or camera, this type of devices or this type of things is using. Now this conversion, so we have an analog data. So the data can be converted, the analog to digital, in the mode of analog to digital, it can be converted. So there is a process or there is a encoding process, right? So analog to digital, we have seen the whole process of digital to digital data. In the case of this analog to digital data conversion, in the case of this analog to digital data conversation, there is a what happened here that it is actually used, or this conversation can be done with the help of PCM. With the help of PCM. PCM is not for physics, chemistry, math. That is in your class 12. This PCM is for pulse code modulation. This PCM is for pulse code modulation. I think you have heard the term. You will heard the term in your third semester when you are studying this binary or digital signal, this type of thing. I hope that you are aware with the term PCM, pulse code modulation.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Sir, your voice is breaking a lot.
Okay. I think it is for the network unstable connection. Is it okay now?
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Am I audible to you now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So what we are talking about, that the people who have done it, I can see that 24 have raised their hand. Okay, fine. So you can lower your hand. We will see what you have done. I will check each of you. Okay. So those who have done it, that is fine. Who don't, their marks will be done accordingly, or they will get a 0 on the class performance. Now we are moving to the next part, that is our analog to digital conversation. That is our analog to digital conversation. So what happened in this analog to digital signal conversation, that the signal, it can be generated when we are using a microphone or a camera. These things when we are actually using the, this type of analog signal can generate. So the data, it can be on any mode, the analog or digital, whatever the mode, and also for that the conversation process is also there. For analog and digital, the different type of conversation processes are also there. So for this analog to digital data conversation, we use this PCM. There is a PCM conversation mode that we use to change the analog signal to a digital signal. We use this PCM. This PCM is known as pulse code modulation. Pulse code modulation. So this pulse code modulation process is used to change an analog data to a digital data. So what is this PCM process? Now we're going to talk about the process of this PCM. This, as I said, the PCM process or this pulse code modulation technique is used to change an analog data or analog signal to a digital data, actually analog to digital conversation. This process, the process of this analog to digital conversation, is known as digitization. This is known as digitization. The process of analog to digital conversation is known as the term digitization. Fine. So digitization is done with the help of the PCM technique. Now this PCM has an encoder and decoder, right? So encoder reside on which side and decoder reside on which side? Tell me that encoder reside on which side and decoder reside on which side? What in sender, what is gonna reside, and in receiver part, in receiver side, what is gonna reside?
For sender, it's encoder, and for receiver, it's decoder.
Fine. So this PCM also have an encoder and decoder thing that is used in the sender and receiver both parts. So the encoder is present in the sender part and receiver is present in the decoder part. Now in the PCM encoder, the thing we are talking about, the encoder has three processes. This PCM, there is a thing that is present, that is an encoder at sender side and decoder at receiver side. So this encoder has three processes. This encoder has three processes. What are the three processes? First one is known as sampling. First one is known as sampling. Second one is known as quantization. Second one is known as quantization. And third one, it is known as the encoding. So these three processes is present in the encoder of the sender side. This encoder, these are the three processes of encoder. Sampling, quantization, and encoding. So if we draw a particular diagram for this, so the diagram will look like something like this. So suppose this is my analog signal. Here the part sampling, then in the particular part there is quantizing, and then in the next part here the thing is encoding is okay, here the thing is encoding. So these are the three parts: sampling, quantizing, encoding. Okay. And then what happened? The PAM signal and quantized signal, these are the two things first. So we will look for one by one. So first thing is the analog signal. Okay. So the analog signal, suppose it is my analog signal that is moving. Okay. It is an analog signal that is moving. Fine. Now we have the sampling. So first this analog signal will go for the process, with sampling. So it is in the process of sampling, right? The signal will be sampled. Then after the sampling and in between of quantizing, the sample and between of quantizing, okay, there is a process. Sample will be going to for quantizing and then it is going for the encoding. So these are the three parts or simultaneous process that is going on. So now sampling and quantizing, in between of sampling and quantizing, the thing will be of PAM signal. It will be generating a PAM signal. The PAM signal, it is in the part, it is in between of sampling and quantizing. How the thing will look like? Okay, so the thing is in this particular part from here, the in between of sampling and quantizing, the PAM signal will be generated, and PAM signal will be looking like some particular draw graphs actually. Okay, suppose each will be things is represented by a particular small part of graphs, small part of bar chart. We can say it is so small. So the thing is, it will be, the shape will be similar like this. The shape will be similar like this. Whatever my analog signal, the shape of the analog signal, it will be similar to like this. Then at the particular point when it is down, it will be goes like down. So it due to some network connection, it is just getting connected and disconnected. And I think now I have to draw the whole thing again. Okay, so okay, no, I am not going to draw the whole thing again. What is the thing scenario that I'm talking about? That a PAM signal is generated. Now we have a PAM signal is generated in between the process of sampling. Am I clear? My audio is clear? Am I audible to all?
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Breaking sometime.
Okay, just wait for some time. I'm trying to fix it. Is it okay now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, so now what we are talking about that I am not going to draw the whole thing again. I'm talking about the process that is sampling. Then there is a part I have drawn that is quantizing, and then there is another part that is known as the encoding. Right? These three are the process, and in between of that is sampling and quantizing and encoding. When after the first process of this sampling quantizing, there is a process that is called PAM signal. A PAM signal is generated in between the process of sampling and quantizing, right? So the things will be similar to the analog signal. The diagram will be look similar to the analog signal, just like whatever the analog signal we have drawn in previous. The similar to looks like the similar type of signal will be generating here. So similar to this type of particular diagram is generated, or this type of particular diagram we are getting after the sampling. So my analog signal, if I draw it again here, the analog signal, what I have drawn in part in the just few days back, the signal is something like this, right? Fine. So now after the signal, it is sampling and quantizing. A PAM signal process is generated here in the between of sampling and quantizing. Now the signal, that is PAM signal, is generated. The sampling PAM signal, then for the process of quantizing, then the process of the signal is quantized here. The signal is quantized with the respect of total grid lines and diagrams. The signal will be quantized and then it will be encoded. Then it will be encoded into a digital data. Then the signal will be encoded, quantized. The quantized signal will be encoded into the digital data, and in the end, we are going to get the digital data. So encoding will result us or will give us to a digital data, will lead us to a digital data. So the process here, this is my analog signal. The analog signal is actually getting sampled, then it is getting quantized, and a PAM signal, it is generated here in between. This is the PAM signal, and then it is quantized and encoded, and then the signal will be quantized, and then it is encoding, and then at the end we are getting a digital data. So this analog signal, what I have drawn here, maybe after this process, after the whole process of this sampling, quantization, and encoding, it will lead us a digital data, something like this. Suppose 1 1 0 1, something like this, dot 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 up to 1 0. So this, it's just an example, not like that. This is just an example. This analog signal will be converted or can be converted by this sampling, quantizing, and encoding process to a digital data. So analog to digital data, this process can be used with the help of this PCM technique, that is pulse code modulation technique. So now the process of this sampling, quantization, encoding, each of these things need to be understood. Each of the things is very important. So sampling, encoding, and what is sampling, what is quantizing, what is encoding, we are going to discuss in fully. So sampling, the thing is known as sampling. The analog signal, if I see this particular diagram, the analog signal, we can see that this is a continuation. The signal is continuous, right? So a continuous time signal, for each of the time we are getting a continuous, no breaking in between when the signal is going. So that's why it is called a continuous time signal. This continuous time signal is actually getting converted into a discrete time signal. So that is analog to digital. Analog, it is a continuous time signal. Digital, a discrete time signal. So the continuation of time signal is converted or getting converted into a discrete time signal. Here the pulses, in the analog signal, the term pulse are sampled. The continuation time signal, the pulses of continuation time signals are getting sampled for every second. For every second means the sample interval. There is a term that is used here that is known as TS. This TS is known as the sample or the period sample interval. Basically, it is used, or the term that is better used here, that is the sample interval. For each interval, the sampling is happening for every second. So the continuation of time signal, the pulses from this continuation of analog time signal are getting sampled for every sample interval second. For a particular time period, the thing is getting sampled. And this sampling interval, the process or the inverse of this sampling interval is known as the sampling frequency. The sampling frequency, the inverse of the sampling interval is known as the sampling frequency. So what if I try to write the sampling frequency in a mathematical expression? So suppose Fs, that is our sampling frequency. This S is the denomination part. Okay, so Fs, that is our sampling frequency, is actually getting 1 divided by Ts. 1 divided by Ts. So sampling frequency, this is a mathematical equation, that Fs is given by 1 by Ts. So inverse of the sampling interval is known as the sampling frequency. Now, in this process, there are 3 methods. There are 3 sampling methods that is present here. What are those 3 sampling methods? Three sampling methods are, first one is known as the ideal sampling. So first one is known as the ideal sampling. Second one is known as the natural sampling, and third one is known as the flat top sampling. So ideal sampling, natural sampling, and third one is known as flat top sampling. These are the three sampling methods in the part of the sampling. So what is the thing is the flat top sampling, that is most commonly used or most commonly sampling method that is used because it is very simple and it's very easy to hold or draw. It is very easy to use this particular